Time is 6:30, and I hereby call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the Sunderland Selectboard. Our first order of business will be to approve the minutes from our last meeting on December 9th.
I motion we approve the minutes of December 9th.
All right, I second that. We have a motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of December 9th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0. All right, our first order of new business is our holiday schedule for 2025. Becky, do you want to give us a quick little rundown of what holidays we're going to be observing?
Okay. So we will, as you know, the newest one is the Juneteenth.
Yep.
And for the most part, all the holidays are on the regular scheduled holiday. We don't have a big problem like this year we had with I think it was Veterans Day was really, well, Veterans Day we always celebrate on the correct day.
Yep.
So I think the next year Christmas break will be easier with it being on the holiday on Thursday, and then you can have the weekend. I think people are taking vacations on both sides this week. It feels like a lost week in some ways. So I think next year should be a lot easier. The 4th of July weekend.
It's on a Friday,
Friday.
It's on a Friday again.
so it's
gonna be
observed
much
on
easier.
Thursday.
Yeah, so it's going to be better for the town.
Yep. Great.
Since we have Fridays off, it'll be, but it won't be right in the middle of the week where people are,
Oh, I know. Trying to get anything
Tempted.
productive out of these last 2 weeks of this year is
oh, it's,
almost impossible. Wonderful.
but people have been making adjustments, and there were a couple people in on Friday trying to make sure to get some time off, but get all their work done, so.
Wonderful.
So, when I make the motion on this, we just need to amend the New Year's Day.
Because it's not in,
No, because it says January 1st, 2027.
and it should be 25, it's
26.
26,
Yes,
yes,
okay.
okay.
So that's,
That's
you
a
know,
minor thing, but we can do that for sure.
right, but just before it's printed and sent out to people.
Okay. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to accept the holiday schedule as presented with the change of
Yeah.
the 2027 to 2026.
Yep, I motion we approve the holiday schedule for 2025 and correct a typo for New Year's Day, January 1st, 2026.
All right, we have a motion made, and I will second that. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0. Wonderful.
Perfect.
Alrighty, so the next chunk of time is going to be the select board reviewing and approving a bunch of Class H licenses and non-alcohol common victrola licenses, as well as a series of common vic and alcohol licenses.
Which you did last meeting, but it wasn't written up on the agenda, and I wanted to make sure it was noted on the agenda that you had done that, and that you vote to approve the Class 2 licenses especially.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to do so.
I motion that we approve is that what we're
Yeah,
motioning here?
we approve the Class 2 licenses and non-alcohol common vic licenses.
All right, I motion we approve the common vic and Class 2 licensing.
All right, seconded. We have a motion made and seconded to approve the Class 2 licenses and non-alcohol common vic licenses. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 2-0. All right. We also need a motion to approve the common vic and alcohol licenses. I would entertain a motion.
I motion we approve the common vic and alcohol licenses.
I second that. All right. We have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. 2-0. Wonderful. That was nice and simple. All right. Next item of new business is to review the Board of Health permit fee change request. Their request is to add a trash handling permit of $300 and to raise the septic handling permit from $200 to $300. Septic hauling permit.
So in this situation, it's not, the Board of Health is elected, so they can approve these changes, But the fact that there hadn't been a hauler's license at all prior to this point, I felt it was important for the select board to be aware of that.
Okay.
And they're suggesting that at a $300 a month fee. And I believe a number of people in town have independent hauling. So there's probably I think there's 6 or 7 different haulers in town.
Okay. And this would be for
For the new fiscal year.
new fiscal year, it'd be a monthly fee.
It's an annual
Annual fee, okay, annual fee. So annual fee of $300, and that would be for a business like USA Waste to be able to do business in town. Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. Makes sense. Kind of confused why we never had that to begin with, but hey,
Right, that's
good
what,
call on the Board of Health catching that. So, in terms of, you're saying that the Board of Health has the authority to approve that themselves. Do you want an approval from us also, or just a?
I just want you to be aware of it and publicly acknowledging the change so
Great.
that it can be hopefully more widely known
Yep.
that this is changing.
Great. And that makes sense because the Board of Health has to, one would hope and one would assume that the Board of Health has purview over making sure they're doing that in a way that doesn't damage the health of the town and the residents of the town. And so in order to compensate the Board of Health for their time doing so, we are charging a fee to the haulers, which makes sense. Okay. Wonderful. And then the other part of that is raising the septic hauling permit from $200 to $300. And again, that's going to be
And they felt I think Bruce was at a conference with other Board of Health, and in conversation, he was realizing that their fees were lower than a number of other towns, and then they hadn't increased it in a while. So it felt important because the septic hauling is a constant
Yes.
in town, and you know the fees we did become negative in our revolving fund over the summer, so I'd been asking about fee collection, and the committee went back and analyzed it a little bit, and they're going to make that change as well.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for explaining that. Any questions or comments?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. So that was our last item of new business for tonight. On to old business. First up is select board updates. Crystal, do you have anything for us tonight?
I do not.
Wonderful. So only thing I have is just to wish everyone in town a very happy Hanukkah, Christmas, or Kwanzaa, or whatever solstice or whatever else you celebrate. It has been a wonderful year in town for a number of reasons. We've gotten a bunch of stuff done, which I'm very happy about. And I just want to say once again, welcome and thank you for Becky being here. I say that's definitely the capstone to our year is successfully finding our new town administrator and integrating you into our team here. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone in town for everything you've done to help us out to get here. And that is it for me. Next up is town administrator updates. Becky.
Okay, so there are a couple things. We had a question come in today asking if we were a sanctuary city. And I didn't know the answer to that question. I reached out to the town clerk, and she sent me over documentation that we have adopted to be a place of safety for people. I don't know when it happened. Are you guys aware of that?
I remember that, and I'm trying to remember specifically when. I feel like it was 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it was. It might have even been longer than that, but yes, I believe it was at least a couple.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago, and that's my understanding also that we did sign it. We did adopt wording and language to that end.
Yes.
In practice, a town of our size doesn't have a whole lot. It doesn't mean as much in a town of our size as it would in Boston or Springfield or something like that, due to resources and whatnot. But yes, that is the stance of the town, is that we are a sanctuary city. To that end, please feel free to reply to that.
I will.
If you haven't already, to inquire with the documentation and whatnot.
Because they were, I think the person was from Conway, but they were reaching out to towns, all the neighboring towns. I guess Conway is a sanctuary city, and I know Amherst is. And they were talking about Massachusetts potentially becoming a sanctuary state.
I do believe I saw something about that in the Boston, maybe the Post or something like that recently, about Maura Healey saying definitively that we're not currently a sanctuary state. But whether or not that changes in the future, we will see. This coming year will bring with it some immigration challenges for the country at large, for sure.
Yes.
And that will be definitely a thing for all of us to consider.
Okay, and the other update I wanted to ask you about was I'm going to be meeting on the 30th with the Deerfield Town Administrator and Jan Amin. And I didn't know if any select board member wanted to be in that meeting. We're going to be discussing the
30th, you said?
transfer station concept
Okay.
at, I believe it's going to be at 11.
Do me a favor and forward me the information about that, and I will get back to you via email about whether I can make it or not.
Okay.
I have to double check a couple things, but I will try to make that one.
Okay.
It's the 30th?
The 30th, yeah, it's a Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
Yep. Great.
Yeah, it would be helpful to have your input in that conversation, but the
Yeah,
meeting is.
if I can make it
set up.
work. That
Yeah.
was the key.
Yes, but not to worry if you can't.
Okay.
We're collecting information, seeing what they would, what they would be open to and not open to.
Great.
And that's,
right.
we are anticipating the Personnel Board and the Select Board meeting on the 6th of January to start off the year.
Yep.
And from there on, it's going to be weekly Select Board meetings. So I'm glad I had a few weeks to get settled as we hit the
Absolutely.
busy
It's the
season.
budget.
This is
yeah.
why we were so adamant of trying to get you in the door in the fall rather than in January, because it would be much harder if you were trying to start right now
Oh,
for
I
a
can't
number of
imagine.
reasons.
That would,
Yep.
So thank you for
Absolutely.
being aware of the schedule.
Wonderful. Is that everything from you?
Yes.
All right, so we do have an item under correspondence today. We did get a correspondence from the Attorney General's office regarding a open meeting law complaint back from June 2024. We will make the contents of that available via the town website or whatever. But the summary of it is that the Attorney General does not find that the town was in violation of the open meeting law in any way, and that the open meeting law requires, the standard by which it requires the annotation of the meetings was more than met, and we don't have to feel like and the summary basically is that it's not the town's responsibility to write down every word said by every person, as long as the gist of things is there and the good faith effort has been made to do so. So we were expecting that was going to be the answer from the Attorney General, but we're glad to see that we are, in fact, in compliance in that respect.
Yeah, it was nice to see how carefully the AG's office went through the
absolutely.
issue and all the videos and responded so clearly.
Yep. No, and it's definitely a good example of democracy in action and why we have these open meeting laws and why it's good to challenge them occasionally to try to make sure that people are doing their due diligence. So we appreciate the Attorney General office for their the time and effort they put into making sure we did right by that. All right. Let's see, we don't have any public comment because there's nobody here but us. And in that case, our next meeting will be Monday, January 6th, 2025, as you just said. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
All right, I will second that. We have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. It is 6:43. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0. Take us out.